this is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at the Sprint version of the HTC One. Not a whole lot of difference here, very consistent across carriers, but there's some application differences, obviously the network difference, and we'll talk about call quality too and see how it goes. So here it is, the Sprint version of the HTC One, available now, $199 on contract. And to look at it, you really couldn't tell the difference from the other HTC One variants. In fact, Sprint doesn't even have any branding on this. There's no logo, there's no word Sprint. Really clean look right here. Even their back sticker is a little bit smaller than the AT&T version, which really doesn't matter much. You can peel that sticker off, but clean look as ever. A really lovely Android phone, arguably the best, or going to be one of the best of 2013. Aluminum unibody construction, filled in with polycarbonate, so we have some room for our antenna reception areas. Beautiful 4.7-inch Super LCD 3 display, full 1080p. We've already done a full review of this, so I'm not going to go in-depth with all the features on this because you probably already caught that in our full review of the device. We're just going to go over the highlights. 1.7 gigahertz quad-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 600 CPU, making it right now the fastest phone on the block. When the Galaxy S4 comes out shortly, it probably will score equally as well, maybe even a little bit better because it's clocked slightly higher. We'll have the same CPU in this country. You've got dual band Wi-Fi here with AC support, Bluetooth 4.0, NFC, a GPS with GLONASS. The battery is sealed inside. This is a unibody sealed design. There is no micro SD card slot on this. You can get it with 32 gigs of storage on Sprint, so that's a reasonably adequate amount. And right here you can see here's our little SIM card slot. Some Sprint LTE phones haven't had a user-accessible SIM card slot, but obviously this one does, just like the other HTC variants, and it comes with a little poker tool so you can poke in the hole there and get that SIM card out if you ever need to. And this works on Sprint's network. This is CDMA dual band digital. It has EVDO Rev A, 3G for data, and 4G LTE on Sprint. And in our area of Dallas, we do have LTE, so we've been able to do some speed tests on their brand new network. So we're going to talk about the differences here. First off, obviously this is going to be running on Sprint's network. The last one we looked at was running on AT&T's network. This is also available on T-Mobile, this phone. We're going to see the speed test results that we got here. And you can see right now we've got 4G LTE with what it says is almost full bars of signal strength, though the strength in dB is not always as optimistic as the signal bars are. And you can see the results that we've gotten here. They're kind of bouncing all over the place. Now, the really low numbers that you see here, like 471 and 530, that's when we were testing it on 3G, on their EVDO Rev A 3G network. So obviously that's going to be quite a bit slower here. And we've gotten as fast as 11 megabit per second down, and upload speeds so far have not been too high on any of our test runs, but we have managed several times to get about 9 megabit per second down. Now obviously this is going to depend on where you're located. Right now LTE's in a couple of metropolitan areas, more than a couple really, several, but they're still building out the network, so we hope that speeds will improve because as LTE goes, this isn't too rockin' fast, but certainly it's a huge improvement over EVDO Rev A 3G. And in most cases, it's an improvement over WiMAX, which really never offered the speeds that we had hoped for. In terms of call quality, good call quality on the phone. Now, in our full review that we did using the AT&T version of this, we had some issues with call quality, and it was really just average. It turns out we had a defective phone. We got a replacement phone, worked just fine, and so does the Sprint version. As long as you have a decent signal there for calling, it's a 1X network, nice, clear call quality. We have dual microphones on this. We have a secondary microphone on the back for noise canceling, and that's located right here. And it really does help to improve call quality quite a bit. Also means when you're talking on the phone, try not to cover that part right up there. That's really not where most people would be holding their phone anyway. And if you get a case, likewise, it's important to make sure it has a little opening for that hole right there. When it comes to software, you can see we've got Sprint Zone loaded up on here, and there are shortcuts for Sprint Movies and TV, Sprint Music Plus, Telenav Scout Service, and Lookout Security. Now this starts out just as being shortcuts to download from the Google Play Store. So if you actually don't want them, they are not taking up any space on the phone, which is nice. But that's it. We have downloaded them so we could check out all the software that's available. So as we take a look at what's preloaded here, one thing that's interesting is the AT&T version and the unlocked GSM version have integration with Evernote, and that shows up as a Notes application under productivity grouping. And we don't have that here in the Sprint version, nor is there a setup area in accounts under settings for that. Now we switch back to custom view so we can see the folder groupings that were pre-created on the phone, and here's our productivity group. Dropbox pre-installed, We have tasks, again, no Evernote, and this can sync to your Google tasks if you want. And we have a PDF viewer that's not built into the AT&T version. Of course, you can download free PDF viewers, including Adobe Reader, but this is handy to have something pre-installed on here. There's also a read-only version of Polaris Office installed on the HTC One, all variants so far. Something else we have here is Qualcomm Enhanced Location. This is interesting. It claims to be able to save battery power while maintaining location for your phone. You can turn that on or off as you see fit. I haven't seen much of a difference in battery life having that on or off. Under Media, we have the HTC Watch for renting and purchasing movies from their service if you want. The usual YouTube player, Google Play Movies. Both the HTC Music Player, Google Play Music, TuneIn radios here, the FM radio, of course, the application for that, and SoundHound are on board as well. Kids mode's on here, along with parental management for that, so if you want to set this up, you can hand it over to your kids safely. And you can see this is handled by Zoodles right here, so you can lock it just into a set of applications, make it kid-friendly and safe, and make sure they don't delete all the contacts from your phone either. HTC's Media Share is on board, and we're going to take a look at some of the Sprint applications right now. We have Sprint TV and Movies, and this actually also runs over Wi-Fi. Now we're going to give it a try on the 4G network since we have a decent signal and see how it runs. And here's our Mobi TV powered application. Pretty blocky. Let's see if it improves when it buffers up. Still pretty blocky. And let's try it with Wi-Fi on, see if things get any better. And now here it is with Wi-Fi on. Way more watchable. The blockies and jaggies are gone. I'm pretty surprised at that, given that we have a reasonably good Sprint 4G signal going on here, but that is what it is. So there's your Sprint TV, for those of you who are fans of that. And Sprint Music Plus is here, so you can purchase music if you want. I know this is a pretty popular service, DRM-free stuff. You have access to your own library, music store, ringtone for ringback service. And here is our store interface. So for those of you who've been Sprint customers for a while and who have bought into your songs, you do have access here. We've got Lookout Security for those of you who fear viruses on Android, and we have Google Shopper here, which is a square barcode reader. You can use this in the store, or you're looking at an ad in a magazine and you want to learn more about a product. Blink Feed is here, just as it is on other HTC One variants. You can have this be your main home screen, what happens when you hit the home button as you go here, or you can set one of your regular desktop icons to be. And we have a trial of voicemail right here, and this is voicemail to text. So you can see right now, it's got a couple of things here, and
for the next month, you'll receive all of the benefits of the visual voicemail to text account at no charge. You won't be charged after the free trial ends.
So for those of you who think visual voicemail is kind of old and boring, well, this is the next step forward these days. This is where you should get your voicemails transcribed here. And again, as you heard, it's a 30-day free trial service, and if you want it, it's $1.99 a month after that. And last but not least, we have Sprint Zone on here, and that comes with this little widget over here. So among other things, it recommends apps you might want to try. Gives you access to your account. And again, if you're a Sprint customer, you're pretty familiar with that and how it works right here. And take a look. Big visual stuff. Discover is an example of that widget you just saw. Applications that they recommend. Entertain Me. We have Sprint Guardian. And there you have it. Well, battery life has been really good on our GSM version on AT&T. A little bit less so on the CDMA. Takes a little bit more of a toll on the battery, but it also has to do with the signal. We have a lot more LTE signal flip-flopping going on around here. So again, you know how Sprint works in your area and what your signal is like and how much that may affect your phone's battery life. But overall, the HTC One does pretty well on battery life for a very big screen smartphone with a fast CPU. So that's this HTC One on Sprint in a nutshell. Again, watch our full video review to get the rundown on every single feature on this really lovely smartphone, but now you know what's different about the Sprint version. So that's the Sprint HTC One, available now, $199 on contract. Arguably, yes, the best Android phone on the market right now. Really a lot going for it. Highly recommend it. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to visit our website to read the full review of the HTC One, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.